Good morning. And to all of our special guests, welcome to the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the preeminent federal banking regulatory agency. I am Glenda Cross, Director of Minority Outreach in the OCC's Office of Public Affairs, and I will be serving as your Mistress of Ceremonies today. This is a very special day because it is the kickoff of OCC's inaugural High School Scholars Internship Program, the first of its kind sponsored by any federal government agency. The OCC collaborated with the Department of Employment Services Office of Summer Youth Program to recruit talented students to participate in our High School Scholars Internship Program. This is the 40th year celebration of the Summer Youth Program that was created by the late Mayor Marion, who also previously served as City Councilman for Ward 7. This program has provided invaluable opportunities for young DC residents to learn skills that will make them competitive in the workforce. As we get ready to commence today's events, I would like to introduce Ms. AALIYAH Clark, a rising senior at Anacostia Senior High School located in Ward 7. Ms. Clark will introduce Mayor Bowser, but before I invite AALIYAH to the podium to introduce Mayor Bowser, I would like to share some information with you about her. As mentioned, AALIYAH is a rising senior at Anacostia Senior High School. She has participated in the late Mayor Mary S. Berry Summer Youth Employment Program for the past 3 years. She is a member of the National Honor Society and has enjoyed that since 2016. AALIYAH AALIYAH is actively engaged in sports activities and is a member of the varsity cheerleaders, bowling, volleyball, and tennis teams, and also a member of the ski club. Her community engagement activities involve volunteering at the Capital Area Food Bank and as a student volunteer at Orr Elementary School. Upon graduation, she is interested in pursuing a career in criminal justice. Please join me in welcoming AALIYAH Clark.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is AALIYAH Clark, and I am a rising senior at Anacostia. I am proud to announce that I will be among the first cohort of interns at the OCC. I want to thank my mom, Tracy Clark, who's here today. She has always pushed me. She has always pushed me to work hard and never give up. And because she has never given up, she had just graduated from Blue State earlier this week. Congrats, Mom. Secondly, I want to thank the Marion S. Berry Summer Youth Employment Program team, my school counselor, Ms. Trotman, and the OCC staff. When I heard about the opportunity to work in the federal government, I jumped at it. I don't know any other 17-year-olds with this opportunity, and I plan to take full advantage of it. This will be my 3rd year in the program. Because Mayor Bowser has expanded the program to 24-year-olds, that means I have 7 more years of eligibility of a guaranteed job when I come home from college and beyond. Hopefully, before I am 24, I'll be hosting youth at my own site, or I'll be working my way up the OCC ladder. Giving someone else a spot in a program that has benefited me so much. To that end, I want to thank Mayor Bowser for supporting this program and giving me a fair shot at life. It is refreshing to see someone that looks like me in a power of position and using that power to provide opportunity. Mayor Bowser, I want you to know that the MB-SYEP program has fully prepared me to compete against my peers from DC to China. I feel prepared to conquer the world. With no further delay, I want to introduce you to my mayor, Mayor Bowser.
Thank you. Well, isn't that refreshing to hear from my AALIYAH? Give another round of applause to AALIYAH Clark. And to AALIYAH's mom, congratulations to you too. And thank you all. Comptroller Otting, thank you for inviting us here today and helping us kick off a very special year in the MB-SYEP program. We're celebrating 40 years of young people in Washington, D.C. getting a fair shot through summer youth employment. Mr. Comptroller, and to your colleagues, I want to thank you as well, because I know you have spent a lot of time preparing for a meaningful summer for these young people. I want to thank Ms. Cross for all of her work in putting on this program together. I was briefed as I was coming in that the young people expressed interest in business and government, in learning from you. I know that you have had the opportunity to review their interest, to talk to them, to interview them, and to make sure that we are all going to have a wonderful summer. These 81 young people are joined by almost 11,000 more who start their summer youth internships today. We are working with more than 700 employers at 1,700 sites across all 8 wards of Washington, D.C., and I think we have some other kids in the region. And as I think about our 40th year, I know that this program that you've put together is exactly what we've had in mind for each of those 40 years. I speak for Deputy Mayor Kine, who is in the audience, and our Director of the Department of Employment Services, Unique Morris Hughes, who's at the front with our young people, and thanking you for being so deliberate about these experiences. And AALIYAH said it exactly right. The young people get to be exposed to what you do. Really, a lot of people don't know what the Office of the Comptroller does. So I asked, how did the young people decide that they wanted to be here? Because they want to know about business and government and finances, and that is exactly what you do. The truth about internships, any internship or summer youth employment experience, is that kids get to know what those jobs mean. What do you do each and every day? What should they be studying in college? What does it mean for their earnings potential? What does it mean for their other opportunities? And some of them may learn that maybe they want to do something else. But all of those experiences are important to how we grow our young people. Through our partnership, you are providing 85 rising seniors this incredible professional work experience, and we are so grateful for that. I also know, and we're very proud in DC, that we're on our way to a $15 minimum wage this July. It'll be $14, and I think by next year, by 2020, it'll be $15 an hour. You, through your incredible investment, Mr. Comptroller, are paying these young people $20 an hour. And I know that they are going to take advantage of it. You heard AALIYAH. They're going to show up every day. They are going to take advantage not only of the increased wage that they'll be getting through this special program, but we know that your $586,000 investment also includes a week's worth of attire, lunch with a meal voucher, and this incredible wage and a transportation allowance that I know that all of our youth can tap into. So these types of partnerships during the summer will set in these young people's minds and always be there. There's really no place that I can go in the city without someone saying to me that they were involved at some point in the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program. And now they will say that they were involved in the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program at the OCC. So for that, I thank you very much, and we will be proclaiming, in addition to just a spectacular kickoff here, Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Day in the district. So young people, we know that you are incredible ambassadors for your city and for this program, and like AALIYAH, you know the incredible opportunity that you have, and you will make the most of it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so next I'd like to call the Comptroller of Currency, Mr. Joseph Otting.
However, before Comptroller Otting comes to the podium, okay, today I have the honor of introducing the person whose idea and vision created the purpose for us being here today. I believe his vision for this program was based on 6 E's culminating into excellence. OCC staff was directed to create and implement an extraordinary enrichment experience that would enlighten, encourage, and engage our youth in a manner that would add value at this stage in their life and offer options that would lead them to a future they might not be aware. That was his goal. Thumbs up. Sworn in as the 31st Comptroller of the Currency on November 27, 2019, Joseph Otting serves as the Administrator of the Federal Banking System and Chief Officer at the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. Now, I heard the Mayor mention, what does the OCC do? The OCC supervises nearly 1,400 national banks, federal savings associations, and federal branches and agencies of foreign banks operating in the United States. Its mission is to ensure that national banks and federal savings associations operate in a safe and sound manner, provide fair access to financial services, treat customers fairly, and comply with applicable laws and regulations. The Comptroller also serves as a director of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and member of the Financial Stability Oversight Council and the Federal Financial Institutions Examination Council. Prior to becoming Comptroller of the Currency, Mr. Otting was a very accomplished executive in the banking industry. He served as president of CIT Bank and co-president of CIT Group, president, chief executive officer, and a member of the board of directors of One West Bank, vice chairman of U.S. Bancorp, where he managed the commercial banking group and served on the Bancorp's executive management committee, served as a member of U.S. Bank's main subsidiary bank's board of directors, executive vice president and group head of commercial banking at Union Bank of California, and held positions in branch management, preferred banking, and commercial lending at Bank of America. So when he came to us as comptroller of the currency, he knew all about banking, so we weren't dealing with a neophyte here. Mr. Otting is a strong proponent of community involvement and engagement. He has played significant roles in charitable and community development organizations by serving as a board member for the California Chamber of Commerce, the Killebrew Thompson Memorial Foundation, the Associated Oregon Industries, the Oregon Business Council, the Portland Business Alliance, the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce, and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon. He was also a member of the Financial Services Roundtable, the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, and the board and executive committee of the Los Angeles Economic Development Corporation. We are very pleased to have Mr. Otting as our chief officer at the OCC. Please give him a warm welcome as he comes to the podium. Mr. Otting.
Good morning, everybody. So why don't we have the students stand up and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for being here. I do recognize that each of you had a choice. In some regards, we made it a little bit easier for you. And, the stories as we went through the process, I think, were really remarkable. And one that, kind of sticks with me is I was over at GLENDA's office one day, and I asked her, I said, well, how are we doing? How many students are we going to have? And she started to tell me some stories, but one of the stories that I really felt good about, she said, one of our employees was riding the Metro, and they happened to see one of the students who had interviewed for the program, and that person beelined right over to, our employee and said, what do I have to do to get in that program? And they said, I'll do anything to be part of that OCC program. And our employee responded because they knew the person was going to be accepted and basically said, I think you're going to be fine. And so somewhere out in the audience is the person that story is about, but it's a pretty remarkable story amongst itself. I can't also not tell a little bit of inside baseball stories. GLENDA gave me, proper recognition about, germinating this idea, but really the team here that pulled it together, I think, are the ones that really deserve the credit. But I also got to tell a little inside baseball story is when I brought the executive team together, and they didn't know why they were coming to my office, but I sat a group down and I said, hey, I've got this idea. I want to do this summer intern program. And when was that? October, and I said, this coming summer we want to do a summer intern program for high school students, and I think we should have 100 students. You would have thought all of them fell out of their chair. They were like, well, that can't be done, and we can't have that many students. And I said, well, why don't you guys go away and figure out how to do it? And I think they exceeded their expectations by a long range. And I just want to tell you, I think the program that you're going to experience this summer will be remarkable. The amount of work that we have done internally to put in place that, I think most of you recognize we do supervision and regulation of national banks. And we really have a program set up for you for really you're going to get a chance to experience that and what that's all about, and not just read about it, but we're intending to give you real live experience. We also have under our OM of Office of Management, where all of our HR and our personnel and our technology is, we're going to move you through that as well. So if you have a dream about being part of a personnel group or a technology group, we're going to give you that experience this summer as well. So I think when you leave here in 6 weeks, it'll be a remarkable experience for you, and I think it'll be something you forever will remember. I would like to thank the mayor. Continuations of these kind of programs are incredibly important for youth, and I'll share some of my own personal viewpoints, but it takes great leadership to do that, and thank you very much for taking that on. Dr. Morris Hughes, I know, the 11,000 kids across this city will participate in this program this year. I could not imagine trying to coordinate 11,000, but thank you also on behalf of the community for what you do. Now to embarrass a couple of the people who were at the round table that day, I'd like to introduce the executive leadership team at the OCC, but the first is Senior Deputy Comptroller for Midsize and Community Banks is Tony Bland. I think Tony's here if he's not traveling. Tony, please stand up. Tony has a certain behavior about him that you'll learn this summer. When you say something that he doesn't quite agree with, he'll raise his eyebrows. So look for the raised eyebrows. So the next person is Deputy Comptroller for Bank Supervision and Policy is Gravetta Gardner. And Gravetta, thank you for your involvement. And then the Executive Director for the Office of Minority and Women Inclusion is Joyce Cofield, and I know Joyce is here as well. And then real quickly, our project leads was obviously Glenda, and Glenda, thank you for all that you've done in the leadership. Glenda wanted to retire, and when we introduced this program, she said she was going to stick around and make sure that it got done in the right way, so thank you. And then the gentleman who is responsible for the Director for Talent Acquisition is Ed Escarne. And Ed, I believe you're in the audience as well as you'd stand up. Ed's up by the door. And then the guy that made this happen and brought organizational leadership to it, and all the way down to the details of your clothes, the lockers that you'll have, the technology approach was Cameron Doss. And where's Cameron? Cameron has done an amazing job and pulled all this together. It's really been rewarding for me to see the leadership team and the way they brought all this together. I want to tell you a personal story about myself. And when I was a young man, very similar circumstances yourself, fortunately my father took it upon him that he wanted me to have all kinds of different experiences. And so, one summer he got me a job at a grocery store. And so I bagged groceries, and when there was a point in time where they would carry the groceries out to the car for people, that went away with the buggy. But it used to occur, and young people would do that. And then the next summer, he got me a job at a bakery. And I thought that sounded like a really cool thing because I could go in and eat donuts and cookies. But little did I know I had to get up every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, and my job was to get the sugar and the dough and everything, ready for the bakers to come in. And so that was a good experience. The next summer, he got me a job at a utility, and I thought, well, that's going to be interesting working at a utility. Little did I know I was going to actually work on a dam on a river with a bunch of engineers. And then the last summer, he got me a job as a construction worker. And I use the word construction worker loosely because I was really the laborer for all the construction workers. So when I got out of school, I went and became a banker. And you would say, well, how does all of that, wrap together? And then today, here I stand in front of you as the comptroller of the U.S. currency. And the message I would send to you today is when people ask me about how will you measure the success of this program, I view it from the standpoint is it's the experiences that each of you have. If none of you come back and be part of the OCC, I'm totally fine with that. But I hope we set you on a journey that you are a banker, or you are a government employee somewhere in the world, or you're a lawyer, or you're a doctor, or you're a business owner. That's really what we're interested in kind of launching for you, is for you to see another part of the world. A good friend of mine, John Bryan, who runs Operation Hope, said to me, you know, when each of those kids now drive by that OCC building, they are never going to look at it the same. They're going to think about the experiences that they had this summer. So with that, on behalf of, you know, the whole OCC team, you know, I would encourage you, often people don't like to get on the elevator with me because I yak it up with them. I would encourage you, when you come on the elevator, introduce yourself, start a conversation, find out what people do. When you see them in the hallway, you know, find out what people do around here. And when you go down for lunch, and by the way, the food is really good here. And they have breakfast, lunch, and they don't close till 3 o'clock. So it's a fully robust cafeteria that I think all of you will be able to enjoy. But get to know people around the building, because that'll be helpful for you later on when you're looking for contacts in the world. So thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, you heard several people say that the comptroller is responsible for this program. And all of us work very hard, different teams throughout the OCC. But indeed, it was his idea, okay? So I want you to give him a standing ovation. Stand up. Everyone stand up. He deserves it. Give him a standing ovation, Mr. Comptroller. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Our next speaker, Dr. Unique Morris Hughes, currently serves as the Director of the District of Columbia's Department of Employment Services. As the agency director, Dr. Morris Hughes is fiercely focused on bridging the gap between education and workforce development, guiding often overlooked and underserved populations and shared future of sustainable growth through career opportunity and economic prosperity. Dr. Morris and her team work diligently to ensure that Mayor Bowser's commitment to helping residents become competitive in the workforce and connecting them to opportunities for full employment, lifelong learning, economic stability, and the highest quality of life are accomplished. She and her team work daily to support diverse cultures in accessing employment services, ensuring that district residents, particularly youth, are prepared for not just jobs, but careers that are in demand industries. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Morris Hughes.
Good morning, everybody. Today is an exciting day. Today, or actually this year, marks the 40th anniversary of the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program. Yep. And it's through that program the DC Department of Employment Services is able to serve thousands of young people across this great city in all 8 wards and provide an exploratory career experience. I'd like to thank the amazing staff at the DC Department of Employment Services. Thank you so much. A lot of folks don't realize the amount of effort and man hours it takes to stand up a program and make sure that 11,000 young people not only get a place to go to for 6 weeks in the summer, but they get paid on time with no issues. And so thank you so much for my amazing team. I am truly, truly, truly grateful. June 24th is just a few days away, and that will mark the first day of our Summer Youth Employment Program. I would like to extend a special thank you to Comptroller Joseph Otting and the entire OCC team. Your partnership further ensures that young people in the district are placed on a pathway to the middle class. MBSYEP opens doors and encourages our youth to take bold steps towards their future. In the 40 years of MBSYEP, we have seen it evolve into something more than just a paycheck. This program is a testament to the legacy of the great Marion Barry, who championed causes and initiatives for young Washingtonians. I often say to adults that sponsor or host a summer youth employment intern, remember your first summer job? Remember the opportunity that somebody gave you? Congratulations for taking the bold step to extend the opportunity to somebody else. That is a principle and legacy of Marion Barry, and that is at the core of what we do in the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program. We're grateful to all of the investments and all of the partnerships with business, with community-based organization, and with federal government for MBSYEP participants to receive not only transportation assistance, but financial literacy and access to success coaches and mentors to support them through the program. Those core elements are essential to making sure that a young person is successful, and we're so grateful for OCC for taking the lead on this. Additionally, with investments in technology, our program has been able to increase accessibility to MBSYEP. And so now, today, not only can young people access anything that they need for MBSYEP, but they also can access important job aids and tools to make sure they're successful in the future. And it's because of the innovation of DC government, the leadership of our mayor, and the will and might of our OYP team that makes all of that possible. Today is also a special day because as we speak, we have about 3,000 young people at the Capital One Arena getting ready for SYEP and picking up their transportation fare card. Today is a huge day in this city where we are focusing on young people. And I want to encourage everyone, not just today, but every day during the year, to remember to invest in our young people, support MBSYEP, and for all of us to be the leaders to make sure that we are supporting our future workforce. Thank you, everybody. We can't thank you enough, and we look forward to an amazing summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Morris Hughes. I believe we all can agree that we are off to a good and positive start. We see the wonderful things that can happen when local and federal government join forces to work on initiatives of common interest to serve the needs of our communities. Please join me in giving all our speakers again another round of applause. Now, there is someone that I must acknowledge who has worked on the front line and behind the scenes to ensure that the collaboration between the OCC and Department of Employment Services come to fruition. Ms. Thenie Freeman, Associate Director, Office of Youth Programs, please stand. Behind every good manager is a good team. And I know that, so I'm declaring myself as a good manager. I would like to ask the members of Ms. Freeman's staff to also stand. Please, all of you, recognize. Yeah. Thank you. Before our program concludes, I have a few logistical details that I need to provide. Mayor Bowser and Controller Otting will distribute uniforms to students, one student from each of the 6 schools that are participating. After that, we're going to have a group photo with all the students, the controller, and Mayor Bowser. Then immediately following the group photo, the students are to report to conference rooms 410 and 420, and you will be escorted by your cohorts. Our guests for today, the working members on the team that helped to put this program together. So we will all meet because your job is still not over. It doesn't end when this program ends today. We still have a few more things to do. Okay, so I do have something that I would like to share with the interns. I really believe in the Mayor Berry Summer Employment Program. The two people who work with me, Andrew Moss and Brittany Shaw, were teenagers in that program, and they are working here at the OCC and have very good careers. Andrew and Brittany, would you please stand? Okay. And on a final note, I would like to leave with our interns something that has resonated with me, expressed by my favorite local radio host. Shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you will be among the stars. You are OCC stars, superstars. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and have a good day.